everybody, how are we doing? I hope we're well. You're watching my channel Boomy Reactions and I'm Boomy. Hello, thank you for watching. So today guys, I have another rather miscellaneous video. We've got another one from Lawrence and across the pond. So this video is titled 9 Things That Americans Do That British People Don't. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more than 9 things, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. So I've got no idea. I've got no idea where he's coming from. So let's get straight into the video. I'm not sure, so let's just jump straight in. Guys, as ever, if you're enjoying these reactions, please like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you in advance. Da, 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 da. Oh, look at Lawrence in his posh glasses.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the things we do as people. It turns out that there are just things that people in one country do that the people in the other country do not do, and today we're going to take a look at 9 things that Americans do that Brits don't, and take that title with a grain of salt, okay? It's very much a generalisation. Of course, many of the things on this list probably are practised by some people, some pedants over in Britain. I said pedants, not peasants. But for the most part, on the whole, generally speaking, how many other ways can you say that? Americans do these things more than Brits. Now, if I'd have done this list maybe 12 years ago before I moved to the United States, there are some things I would have included that have since caught on in Britain. So, you know, baby showering or queuing up for the Black Friday sales or getting a coffee to go. So since there's more of a level playing field in regard to those things, I'm just going to leave them off the list. And given that we're all presently trapped in our bunkers, even the ones that did make it onto the list probably shouldn't temporarily, including this.
Oh, so he recorded this during lockdown. Okay, well, he's just jogged my memory very quickly. So I don't know about 9 things that Americans do that Brits don't, but I can instantly think of 2 things that British people do that probably the rest of the world just don't do. The first being queuing. Now, as British people, we like our queues for everything. Anything, everything. It's a very British thing, I think. I think it comes from the after the World War II, I think it was, when we were receiving our ration cards, or you know, the food rations, and we were like instructed to get into orderly lines and wait our turn. And apparently we loved it and it caught on because we queue up for everything. In fact, I do as well. I don't know why, it's just drilled into us, and it's just. But then when you see people not doing it, it's very easy to get like a bit shirty and think like, oh, they're not queuing. It's really rude, but I don't want them to cut in front of me. See, that's how much it's drilled into us. We actually think it's rude to not queue now. But yeah, it's a very British thing, I think. Anyway, you know, I don't know if there's other countries that do it as well. And apologising. But really, really over the top apologising for everything. I think I must say sorry about 20 times in any given day. I don't know. I think we're just told that it's, oh, you know, maybe just being brought up, we just think it's like a polite kind of passive. I don't know. Do you know, I actually backed into a bin the other day and I apologised to the bin, but I did it so subconsciously. So just kind of, it was my bin at home as well. It wasn't even a public bin. I accidentally walked backwards into my bin and my first reaction was, oh, sorry. Like I tapped the bin to make sure it was okay. But it's just, I don't know why. I know, eccentric British behaviour maybe, but you know, that's 2 things that I would say might make the list of weird things that British people do that just no other people do. Does anyone else do that?
Smiling at strangers, which I suppose is what I'm doing to you right now, so I'm a hypocrite in a way. And you know what, I think when I first encountered this is when you're walking along, say, a footpath, or you're in a parkway, and someone you've never met, maybe they've got a dog, they just look at you and smile. It sounds creepy when I put it like that. No, and at first it was. I thought I was going to get mugged, right? British people value their personal space, right? Don't enter that zone. Yeah. And so when whenever that happened, it was a little off-putting. But I got used to it when I realised that Americans are just really friendly, and this is a good thing, right? And so I not only came to embrace this, but I started doing it myself. And people got a bit creeped out by the British teeth. I can't help that; it's just something I'm born with, and so you're gonna have to accept it from now on. I must say.
Oh, Lawrence, we're both victims of the British NHS dental system, aren't we? Oh my gosh, right. I don't think this one is weird, but I'm a smiler. I smile at strangers, and to my knowledge, they've never found it weird or creepy or bizarre. Maybe other British people do, and just haven't said anything to me. But I find that polite. Like I'm very quick to smile at strangers. If you're passing someone in the street and you just that kind of awkward moment where you make eye contact, I'd rather smile than awkwardly just look down, because I think that's rude. It's like acknowledging another human being. I think it's polite. And I don't think, just for anyone watching, if you're in the USA, we don't think that it's creepy. We don't all think it's weird if you make eye contact with a British person and smile if you ever come over. I don't know, because I'm not sure. Is Lawrence from London? Maybe it's a London thing, because they are, very busy, big city, bit standoffish. We like our personal space, absolutely, but who doesn't? But yeah, no, I'm a smiler. I don't find it weird. I find it actually weirder when people don't smile back or say, hi, you okay? Because that's just polite. It's just general pleasantness and niceties, isn't it? So I would say, guys, viewers from the USA, if you come over to Britain, we don't find it weird. Most of us will smile back, unless we're a misery arse, in which case, some people might look down. We don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they're having a bad day. But I think for most of us, we smile back because, it's just a pleasant thing to do. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the weird British one.
That during this sort of weird situation we find ourselves in, if anybody smiled at me while I was going out to take the trash out, I'd run for the hills. We don't have hills in Chicago, so I'd be lost. Similarly, which is a word I had to say about 10 times before I got right, Americans might greet you not only with a smile, but by saying, how are you? Or what's up? And these don't mean, are you okay? Or anything like that. It just means hello, right?
Hi.
And in a way, it's sort of similar to how we Brits say, all right. And we're not asking if you're okay, we're simply saying hello. So in many ways there are similarities between the two. I don't really know why that is. Are we just trying to soften and euphemize the word hello in the same way that we would with death or going to the toilet? It's really odd when you think about it, but we both do it. Should I start my videos with, all right, I'm Lawrence, and no, I won't do that. What I will do is go on to our next entry.
It's not that weird.
Yes, flags. I did talk about this in a video just recently that, American families and houses and things like that are very prone to having the flag flying outside. And I found that it really doesn't matter which party you vote for or anything like that. People will still fly the flags regardless of that, particularly on July the 4th. But you will see it at all times of year on numerous houses. And that's not to say that we don't fly the flag in Britain, but we usually reserve that for very special occasions like football matches, which are very special occasions these days. There's just sort of, maybe there's more pride in the flag here, or it symbolises so much more, and therefore it gets used. And when I say it symbolises so much more, I mean, it really does. You've got the 50 stars representing each of the 50 states, and then you've got the 13 stripes representing each of the original 13 colonies. And so it's symbolic in many ways, and, it's part of the lexicon even. You've got words like Old Glory, Stars and Stripes, and things like that. And so it's a very pervasive part of American culture.
Now, I'm wondering if it's something to do with the fact that in the USA, not that long ago, we are talking about a few hundred years. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things. You've had to fight for your independence. And Britain really hasn't had to fight for its independence. In fact, if we're being completely honest, it's normally the oppressor, colonial, you know. So we've never really had that struggle, that fight to have to gain our independence. So maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that is the reason, but one of the contributing reasons why you guys have so much patriotism and so much pride, like to display your flag so openly. So in the UK, I'd say yes, Lawrence is definitely right. A flag, flying of the flag, is more reserved for football. Whenever you see them hanging outside houses, it's normally following a football event like the World Cup. You do see a lot more flags. I would say you tend to see more flags in Wales, and possibly Scotland might be similar as well, because, you know, Wales, Scotland, the fight for independence, the the need to not want England's rule, possibly. So, maybe that's more of a push for pride. Maybe that's why it's so much more important to display the flag. I would say, very sadly, I think a lot of people in the UK are just slightly less patriotic, which is very sad. We should be proud of where we come from. We should be proud to display our flags. But yeah, for whatever reasons, guys, I do think we're just possibly less patriotic. So it's very sad.
Yes, date format. Yes. Again, I've spoken about this before on the channel, but it's very much worthy of inclusion, because when I first moved to the United States, it was very hard for me to get out of my head the British way of writing the date, which is to put the day first, the month second, and then the year. So it's sort of in order of unit, right? The smallest entity, the day, the second smallest, and then the third smallest, the year. Or is it to the largest? It's so hard to word that correctly without confusing yourself. I'm not a mathematician. And that was evident in my early days of trying to get my head around the American date format. It's not hard. I mean, you obviously just switch the day and the month around. But it's that thing you've known all your life. You're having to unlearn what you'd already learned. And eventually, working in an office every day for 5 years, the American way of doing things really did sort of cement itself in my head. And I came good on that front. And I think now if I were to move back to Britain, it'd be the other problem, and I'd have a hard time adapting. And if I tell everybody that, my birthday is 11/18/1981, they'll think I invented 6 more months, and, will kick me out of the country again for forgery. That's not what that means.
Kicked him out of the country again. Okay, so yeah, it gets a bit confusing because we're so conditioned to see dates in order of like day, month, year, that when we do see a date in American format, say, it looks bizarre to us because we're so used to seeing it. So we're going to see like a lower digit for the months first, and then we're going to see anything up to like the 31st, where we would normally see the month. So it makes our British brain go, ah! But yes, it's just something that you just get used to, I imagine.
Falsehoods, just general falsehoods. Oh, and while I'm on the subject of birthdays, that brings me on to our next entry.
Birthday? What?
Tailgating was such an alien concept to me when I first moved to America, and in many ways it still is.
And that's games?
Mainly because I don't own a truck or go to sports events, because that's what happens. When I talk about tailgating, I'm not just talking about, when you drive too closely behind another car. I'm talking about that kind of thing that Americans do at sports events outside of sports stadiums or anywhere else where they can park it, and they just casually light a barbecue and drink beer. And I mean, they look fun. It's just I've never been invited to one, so pity me, come on, feel sorry for me. It's never happened. The best you're going to get outside of sports stadiums in Britain is people selling pirated DVDs. I've just realised, actually, those pirate DVD sellers they're probably struggling right now because A, there's a pandemic on, and B, no one uses DVDs anymore. Actually, I suppose nobody is doing our next entry, including me, so I'm going to leave this to Lawrence from Christmas to explain.
So, oh my gosh, yeah, the tailgate. So, when I first heard this, I was a little bit confused because to a British person, tailgating means that you're just driving far too close to the car in front of you. So it's kind of a negative association, I guess. So when I heard that tailgating is a thing in America, that instantly makes me think, but why would Americans be really excited about driving too close to the car in front? That's really unsafe. No, it's something completely different. It sounds like such fun. So you guys, you park out in the car park, in the car parks of the stadiums, or wherever the games are taking place, I guess. And you have food and you have games and music and just general socializing, and it looks like a riot. It looks so much fun. If I didn't come to watch a football game for the actual football, I would just come for the tailgating, because that's a day out. It just seems really lovely. It's a nice idea. It just seems really, really nice. So yes, I would love to come to a football game and experience tailgating. Oh, not this.
Anybody that's followed my channel now for a while will know that I have feelings on free refills. In fact, I did an entire video about it. And while they are all the rage here, and of course you'll find them in most fast food outlets and other places, there is one clarification I have to make here. You will find free refills as an option in places like Subway in the United Kingdom.
That sounds
so
good.
In some capacity, America has exported it, but it is by no means as universal in the United Kingdom as it is in the United States. And as I've said before, I think the temptation of knowing that I could get a free cup of pop on top of the one that I've already had is what made me give up pop in the first place. So I do have that to thank America for. Of course, if you are American and you have the willpower to stay away from the free refills, more power to you.
Is it only soda? Soft drinks, soda, whichever we refer to them as. Is it just for, soft drinks, sodas? Are coffees on the free refills? Iced tea? Because that sounds pretty good. I have experienced one restaurant, but you know what? No, not just one. There is a very small handful of restaurants. They're normally chain restaurants. One of which wasn't actually an American chain. To my knowledge, it was a very British pub chain. And for whatever reason, they offered free refills on soft drinks. And of course, young kids think that's absolutely amazing, especially when they have 3 different flavors of Pepsi. So yeah, I don't know why people think it's weird, or people complain about the whole free refill thing, because it sounds amazing. I mean, you're getting so much more for your money. What's to complain about? Why would you complain about more? But there are 1 or 2 places in the UK that have jumped on the idea and do it as well. There's not many at all. It's definitely not common, but I have experienced just maybe 2 or 3 places that do partake in the free refills.
Free refills or not, Americans do like their water to be very cold, and I'm not talking about their bath water. Can you imagine having an ice bath? Do they? That is weird. But they put lots of ice in their water occasionally, and you'll find this happening in restaurants, but people will do it in the comfort of their own homes too. And this was somewhat of an alien concept to me before I moved to the US. I think maybe it's because we live in a mildish climate in Britain. We don't feel the need to do that. And the water in Britain tends to come out of the tap quite cold anyway, so that usually suffices. But actually, I have come to appreciate this one, because during the summertime in Chicago, or previously where I lived in Indiana, it gets very, very hot. Sometimes it can get over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you go out for a run in that weather, and that's not me, I don't run. But if you do, you're going to perspire like crazy, right? So not only do you need just water in general, it is nice to have it with ice in it, because it cools you down. Like it's ice cold, and you're catching your breath because it's going so dry from all the heat. They'll even buy bags of ice here in America. You can actually buy bags of ice from the store, and I still don't know why people do that. I know, because you have ice trays and you put them in the freezer. Am I missing something?
That's not
so you can have ice for a party.
Oh, right. Like a tailgating party, or just generally a party?
Any party.
Any party in the summer.
Or winter.
Who has ice in the winter? I mean,
Hot
in
countries.
the drink.
Floridians?
That's true. Is it even winter in Florida, though, when it's winter here?
Yes, but no.
Not the same.
Still warm. That okay. So I'm wondering if Lawrence says this is a difference because I mean in the UK, if you go into a restaurant, you ask for a soft drink, it's going to come served with ice. It'd be weird to not have it with ice. So that's the norm now. But I suppose at home, if you have a very old-fashioned, or just old fridge, or just a naff fridge really, it's not going to have an ice dispenser on it. So that is something that we would refer to as an American style fridge. So they're big double fridges, just for anyone who wonders what we refer to as an American fridge. Double fridges that have an ice dispenser and a water dispenser on the front of the fridge. It's normally plumbed in. And they're awesome, but not everyone has one. But like my parents, when they first bought one, that was it. There was ice in everyone's drinks, and you know, there's no end to how much ice this magic fridge can produce. So it's amazing. So all of a sudden, all of your drinks get served with ice. But if you don't have a fridge like this, I suppose your source of ice is coming from an ice cube tray. That's it. There's a very, it's not an infinite amount of ice, is it? So I think maybe because American fridges are so much more popular in the UK now, maybe it's become the norm over here. And like Lawrence said, we have a milder climate. So, you know, if you want to drink tap water, it's not, you know, it's still quite cold. It's not particularly warm. So also the whole buying bags of ice, that's not that abnormal in the UK. We do have supermarkets that sell bags of ice. Because yeah, like his wife said, you're going to need it for like parties, and you know, and you don't have an infinite amount of ice, but when you have these bags of ice, you've got a lot more. Makes sense. It's a bit of a no-brainer. Public pajamas.
This one seemed really strange for the first few months of living in America. People going out to the store in their pajamas and sweatpants and things like that. It's as if they don't care about what they look like while, you know, traversing Walmart, which I can understand. It's not really something you'd find back in Britain. I'm not saying we dress our Sunday best to go shopping, but we at least make an effort, put on jeans and a t-shirt.
Not
you know,
all of
you
us
will
make
see
an
people
effort.
going out in their gym jams, their jammies, PJs, right? And I'm not exempt from that, especially right now. I mean, I don't care what I want people to avoid me. So, of course, I go out in my pajamas or anything. I went out in this the other day. These aren't my pajamas. That's just me looking like a Sith Lord, a dime store Sith Lord, but nonetheless a Sith Lord. And I suppose in many ways it speaks to that American tendency toward comfort. But this is not just a pandemic era thing. I mean, people have been doing this for centuries, probably.
Pajamas?
Yeah.
I feel like that started in the 90s.
So there weren't people going in the 19th century going out with their sort of sleeping cap on and things like that to their local blacksmiths or whatever. That's it. Thank you for watching this episode of Lost in the Pond. Don't forget to follow me right here on YouTube so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. What are you laughing at? I know it looked like a crotch chop. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, so if you liked what you saw here, follow me on Twitter at Lost in the Pond US. You'll get a lot of these sort of weird factoids about my life here in America. Oh, and also what you heard in this video, I talk to my patrons about all the time on our secret live stream. If you want to be a part of that community and if you want to get the lowdown before anybody else, why not become a patron of this channel and help support us, help us grow? You can do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond. That's it. Stay home, stay safe, and stay smiling at strangers on your Zoom call. Bye. Thank you for...
I think Lawrence might have been brought up in a very traditional British household, maybe, because he seemed to laugh at the word PJs or pajamas. I refer to my pajamas as pajamas, and I always have. So I think there's maybe kind of my generation and beyond, you know, and further, maybe we are more influenced by a lot of American terms and a lot of American lifestyle things, which I would say that's a fair thing to say. I don't think my parents would have referred to their pajamas as pajamas. It would have been, what would it have been for them? Like if it's a lady, it's a nightie or a nightgown, or actually, you know, men's pajamas. What would they have called them? Because for me, it's just PJs or pajamas. So quite a few of these things that Lawrence mentions don't make, I don't know, they're not as absolute for me. So I can see kind of both terms, I can see things both ways. But yeah, I think, you know, maybe being a little bit younger, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, we are very influenced by the American way of life, absolutely, through watching an awful lot of American-based TV, and we listen to it at, you know, YouTube, and influencers and whatnot. You know, we are becoming more influenced, I would say. But yeah, so there's a handful of things that I kind of hear Lauren saying, I'm like, nah, I don't know if it's that British anymore. I don't know, but they are funny either way. So I do enjoy watching his videos, and I hope you enjoyed watching that with me, guys. I will catch you on the next video. See you later.